Every day, people use psychology on you, your boss, the brands you buy from, the apps on your phone, maybe even the people closest to you. They're not doing it with force, they're doing it through your mind. In this video, I'm going to show you 5 of the most powerful psychological principles ever documented. Not just to understand them, but to use them. The men who know these principles lead conversations. They influence outcomes. They make billions. They get the girl. They get what they want, without force, without pressure, without anyone feeling manipulated. That's the difference between a man who reacts to the world and a man who shapes it. Use them with integrity. Use them to lead, not to harm. And one of these 5, in the middle of this video, is so counterintuitive, it changes everything about how you think about influence. Stay until then. Let's go. Secret 1. The power of silence. This is the most underestimated weapon in human psychology. Most people think the person who talks the most holds the power in a room. Wrong. The person who talks the least, who lets silence exist without flinching, holds the most psychological leverage of anyone present. Here's the neuroscience. When silence appears in a conversation, the brain activates neural pathways associated with ambiguity and threat. Your amygdala fires. Cortisol rises. The brain scans frantically. What does this mean? What is he thinking? What happens next? The person who breaks the silence first is the one under pressure. The person who holds it, calm, still, unbothered, is the one in control. In negotiations, silence after an offer causes the other party to make concessions. In conflict, silence causes them to doubt their own position. In conversation, a pause before answering signals that your words are chosen, not reactive. Dr. Stephen Porges, developer of the polyvagal theory, shows that a regulated nervous system can sit in silence without activation. An unregulated nervous system is compelled to fill it. When you can hold silence genuinely, you're broadcasting something rare, a nervous system that isn't afraid. Practice it. Before you answer, pause. When challenged, hold the gaze. Say nothing, let the silence work. But here's what makes silence even more powerful. Later in this video, you'll discover why the silent, calm man is not just more respected, but actually more liked. It seems backwards. It is backwards. Secret 2. Door in the face. This technique is used on you every day. By marketers, by politicians, by anyone who wants something from you. Dr. Robert Cialdini documented what he called the door in the face technique. The principle: start with a large request that you expect to be refused. Then follow with your actual smaller request. The smaller request feels reasonable, not on its own terms, but in contrast to the big one. If someone asks you for 500 euros and you say no, then asks for 50 euros, that 50 euros feels like almost nothing. Your brain isn't evaluating the 50 euros, it's evaluating it against the 500 euros. This is called anchoring. Your brain does it automatically every time you see a price, hear a demand, or evaluate any request. The original price is crossed out, so the sale price looks like a win. The extreme ask is made so the real ask seems reasonable. Now that you know this, you'll see it everywhere. And when you see it, evaluate the actual request on its own terms, not relative to what you were first shown. And this connects, in a surprising way, to a principle in the middle of this video. One that explains why doing someone a favor can actually make them like you less. Stay with me. Secret 3. The Franklin effect. This is the most counterintuitive thing in social psychology. Most people believe, if I do something nice for someone, they'll like me more. Benjamin Franklin discovered the opposite is also true. When you ask someone to do a favor for you, they end up liking you more. Not less, more. Franklin won over a rival in the Pennsylvania legislature, not by doing him a favor, but by asking him for one. He borrowed a rare book from his adversary. The man lent it, and from that moment, his rival treated him as a friend. Dr. John Jecker and David Landy confirmed this in 1969, now known as the Franklin effect. When we do something for someone, our brain needs to justify the action. The easiest justification? I did this because I like them. So by asking for a favor, You're giving their brain the opportunity to decide they like you more than they realized. This is cognitive dissonance, pioneered by Leon Festinger. Our brains create internal consistency. I did something for this person. I must value them. Therefore, I like them. The implication? Don't just give. Ask, thoughtfully, for small favors, a recommendation, an opinion, an explanation. The act of asking gives them a chance to invest in you, and investment creates attachment. This is why the man who needs nothing from anyone, who never asks, is often less liked than the man who asks in the right way. Not needy, not demanding, just genuinely asking. That's the Franklin effect. Secret 4. The power of because. In 1977, Harvard psychologist Ellen Langer ran one of the most replicated experiments in social psychology. Researchers cut into a line of people waiting to use a copy machine. Version 1. May I use the machine? I have 5 pages. 60% said yes. Version 2. May I use the machine? I'm in a rush. 94% said yes. Version 3. May I use the machine because I need to make some copies? 94% still said yes. The reason was meaningless. Everyone there needed to make copies. But the word because, followed by any reason, dramatically increased compliance. The brain is wired to seek causality. When it hears because, it relaxes its critical filter. Whenever you make a request, include a reason, a genuine one. And when someone gives you a because, check whether the reason is real or just a word designed to lower your resistance. Secret 5. Selective information. The most magnetic people in any room share one quality. You never feel like you know everything about them. Psychologist Bluma Zygarnik showed that the brain is drawn back to incomplete information, like an itch that needs to be scratched. When a story ends, the brain files it. When a story stays open, the brain keeps returning. The man who tells everyone everything, his salary, his plans, his opinions, gives the brain nothing to wonder about. The loop closes. Curiosity ends. The man who reveals selectively, who speaks thoughtfully, who doesn't explain himself unless asked, keeps the loop open. People keep coming back, not because he's withholding, because he's not performing. The most powerful men who command rooms are never open books. They're interesting chapters. You can read one, but you always want to know what comes next. Be that. Not mysterious for the sake of it. Just complete enough in yourself that you don't need to share everything to feel seen. Because the man who has nothing to hide and everything to say is remembered for nothing. The man who says less and means all of it is the one people can't stop thinking about. That's the HIMCODE.